You aren't lazy. You are a visionary trapped by the weight of your own potential. You can close your eyes and see your success with vivid clarity, the career, the freedom, the impact. But this clarity creates phantom dopamine. Your brain begins to feast on the reward of the dream before you've even stepped onto the battlefield. Pause, this makes reality feel insulting. When you face a blank cursor or a complex spreadsheet, the gap between your perfect vision and your clumsy reality creates immense friction. You don't avoid the work, you avoid the vulnerability of being a beginner. You stay frozen because as long as you don't try, you haven't failed yet. Procrastination is not a character flaw. It's a chemical reaction. You wake up with grand intentions, but you seek a small win by checking your phone. The trap is set. High-speed scrolling triggers bursts of dopamine that raise your effort threshold. Suddenly, the actual work, which requires high effort for a delayed reward, feels biologically repulsive. By midnight, the shame sets in. To soothe the pain of a wasted day, you create elaborate plans for an ideal tomorrow. Pause, this is a dangerous coping mechanism. Planning releases just enough dopamine to trick your brain into feeling progress without you ever moving a muscle. Your brain perceives deep work as a military threat. On one side is your prefrontal cortex, the CEO wanting long-term success. On the other is the limbic system, the primitive brain that only cares about immediate safety. When you feel that freeze before a task, it's your amygdala triggering a fight or flight response. Your brain thinks it's saving you from a predator by offering you the safety of social media. The tragic irony. While your brain protects you from short-term discomfort, it is actively stealing your long-term happiness. Stop waiting for the feeling of wanting to work. Motivation is a fleeting emotion, and building a life on emotions is like building a house on sand. You tell yourself you haven't started because the conditions aren't perfect. In reality, perfectionism is just fear wearing a tuxedo. It allows you to maintain the fantasy of being a genius without ever having to face the messy reality of being a novice. Pause, success is not built on winning, it's built on failing forward. Quality is a byproduct of quantity. Give yourself permission to produce bad work just to get the gears turning. Discipline feels terrible at first. Your brain will fight you with every excuse it has. Don't wait for the resistance to fade, act with it. Shrink your tasks until they are too small to fail. Don't write a chapter, write one sentence. Don't work for 4 hours. Work for 15 minutes. You must trick your brain into starting, because starting is 80% of the battle, and remember, systems beat willpower every time. Don't try to be stronger, design a room where it is harder to be distracted than it is to focus. Self-hatred is not a motivator. Guilt doesn't build discipline, it destroys it. When you berate yourself, you trigger more stress, which leads to more avoidance. The most successful people reset the fastest. They don't let a bad hour become a bad day. They acknowledge the setback and return to the system immediately. Your future self doesn't need your guilt. It needs you to take one small action, right now. Forgiveness is the bridge between the regret of yesterday and the victory of today.